All right. This is lesson 73. And again, I put our place value chart up here for decimals. So here we have the decimal, ones, tens, hundreds, just like always. And then on this side of the decimal, to the right of the decimal, is the tenths place with that TH. I'm gonna underline that TH, the 10. Oh, nope, not doing that. The tenths, the TH, and the hundredths with a TH. All right. So looking at our worksheet, relating tenths and or hundredths and decimals. So it is going to show us a model of a part of a whole, right? So we can either call that part a fraction or we can call it a decimal. So we are going to do both. So you need to count the shaded boxes and remember that this is a 100 square, just like we've worked with in the past, and each column is 10. So you don't have to count all the little individual boxes, you can count them by tens. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 plus 1, 2, 3. So 53 shaded squares, it's written right here, out of the total of 100. So that would look like 53 hundredths as a decimal. I'm sorry, as a fraction. And then to make that a decimal, we write the 53 out to the hundredths place. So 53 hundredths, I'm gonna write it over here. When you write it as a decimal, we have 0 holes. So when there's 0 holes, we just write a 0. And here's our decimal. And then the 50, it's like 53 cents, right? So there's 5 tens, so 50, and 3 hundredths, 53, 53 cents, 53. It goes out to the hundredths place. Here's the tenths place, there's the hundredths place. All right, so 53 hundredths is the same as 0 and 0.53. All right, so let's take a look at this one down at the bottom. Write the fraction or mixed number. Ooh, that makes me think that maybe on the next page, they're gonna have some whole filled in fraction or squares. So write the fraction or mixed number and the decimal. So the fraction and the decimal. All right, so the fraction, this is not a mixed number. So this is just a plain old fraction. And we have 2 whole rows, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4 little boxes. So that is 24 out of 100. So as a fraction, that would be 24 hundredths, right? And because we're talking about hundredths, I am not going to simplify, right? So I could simplify, and the best thing to do would be to simplify if we have our answer in fractions. But since we're talking about hundredths and tens, when we talk about decimals, we're just leaving it with 100 at the bottom. And that is the same as 0, no holes, and we put the decimal point. You don't have to make it a big circle. I just want you to be able to see my decimal. 24 hundredths. So we have a 2 in the tenths place and a 4 in the hundredths place. All right, 0.24. All right, ooh, this one's almost all the way filled in. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 are not filled in. So to do this, I'm gonna go, what's 100 minus 4? 96. So there are 96 out of 100 pieces shaded, 96 hundredths. Again, we're not reducing, we're not simplifying that fraction. And we're gonna write it as a decimal, so no holes, so 0 and that's a better decimal. I like that one better. 0 and 96 hundredths, just like that. All right, we're going to clear everything and move on to the second page and just see what, oopsies, see what they're having you do over here. Oh, we're putting it on a number line. That's fun. Okay, write the fraction or mixed number and the decimal shown by the model. So same thing. We're writing the fraction, or if it's a mixed number, like here we have more than one, and the decimal. So this one is 77 hundredths, and so it's 0.77. Number 2, ooh, here's a model that is on a number line, not a hundreds grid. So here we have, this would be 0, and this would be, ooh, 1's like way over here. So notice our fractions are now hundredths. So all these tiny little things between this one and this one, there are 10 tiny little tick marks. And so that's 10 hundredths, 20 hundredths, 30 hundredths. And we have a dot right before the 30 hundredths. The one right before is 29. So we have 29 hundredths. And then that is equal to 0 and 29 hundredths. Okay. I do kind of want to show you these two also. So here's one whole, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 54. So we have 1 and 54 hundredths is the same as saying 1 and decimal point 54 hundredths, like that. Okay, I think you can do this one as well as these. Fraction, let's see, write the fraction or mixed number as a decimal. So you're only writing the decimal on the line. So make sure your whole number goes first, and then your dot, and then whatever's next after. So there are 100 pennies in a dollar. What fraction of the dollar is 61 pennies? So that's 61 out of 100. 61 hundredths, you're writing it as a fraction, ooh, as a decimal, and in word form. So let's look at that. So we have 61 hundredths. There's my fraction. The decimal would be 0.61, and word form would be 60. We always put a hyphen between the tens and the ones. 61 hundredths. It's not hundreds. R-E-D-T-H-S. 61 hundredths with that TH. All right, you're good on the next one. Okay. Hopefully that's all good.